Coming up in tonight's episode of The Local Game, we'll take a look at the Australia Cup results on the weekend, as well as some unfolding news in the Go Sunny Solar WNPL. FK Beograd and Adelaide Croatia Raiders take each other on for the first time as we highlight that big rivalry returning to the top flight in South Australia. And a new segment in tonight's episode, as well as we get some mail in our inbox. Welcome to The Local Game for episode 9, and what a big few weeks it's been. What a weekend as well of Australia Cup action. There's a lot to get through. Some news in the WNPL as well as the big rivalry returning this weekend. We've got a feature a little bit later in today's show. Here's a sneak peek of what to expect.
The club was formed in December 1949, and through the years we got very rich history.
Belgrade, I think, is a year or two older than us. So I think a lot of Croatians, as they were coming here, they sort of thought, well, we need our own club as well.
Yeah, I just can't wait.
I'm looking forward to a fiery contest between two teams that are close to each other on the table, and looking to bring an entertaining game for the supporters.
Very special to have that rivalry back this weekend. Can't wait for that, and that's just a little bit of a rev up for what to expect this weekend. That's coming later in today's show, as well as the brand new segment, Keko's Inbox. Some unfolding news in the Go Sunny Solar WNPL, and to break it all down as we get ready for the big rivalry this weekend as well is none other than Adelaide City's Ali Atkins. Ali, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me again, Johnny.
As we do every week, hot topics to kick it all off. A big week in football, Australia Cup on the weekend. We're so privileged to have the local leagues covered on FSA Leagues YouTube, but unfortunately when it comes to Cup, sometimes the most exciting games to watch over the year is not always accessible. But thankfully for some passionate footballers football fans, in our local game, we had one game covered on the weekend, the Northern Demons game in Port Perry. How good is it to see that covered by some passionate media people in the game?
Yeah, super good. I'm so glad they filmed that as well. And what a good one to film.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And also Connie, who put it all together as well, organised it within a couple of weeks, or less than a couple of weeks, drove up there, commentated the game, his first lead comms job as well, and a special way to do it with first 6 minutes, his brother opening the scoring. So well done to him on that. And also talking about scoring as well, Ariath PL scored his first A-League goal here in South Australia. Only not too long ago, he was playing at Metro Stars, and even a little bit shorter before that, he was playing Intercol football, which I commentated. I still remember him playing that, and now he's scoring A-League goals. How incredible is that? And to do it here in Adelaide is just a nice touch.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm sure it would have been very special for him scoring in Adelaide.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Absolutely.
And I know it would have been a bittersweet moment for some of our local football fans in the stands there as well. It's proud seeing our South Australian products doing well in the national stage, but it also hurts when it comes against at the cost of our Adelaide United as well. But let's move into the Cup now, where we can dissect what happened on the weekend. Some big results. The fixtures are out for the quarterfinals, but before we head into that, let's look at how the teams that won went. Big one we got to talk about is, Croydon knocking out Metro. That is a massive one. Not only the seniors, but the reserves and under 18s knocked them out. They're completely gone of the Cup. That's a massive loss, especially with Metro seniors winning last year. To be knocked out, not even making the quarters, is that would be pretty disappointed with that.
Yeah, I mean, last year they did so well. So massive game for Croydon to get up, especially considering last week in the league losing. So massive for Croydon.
Definitely was. Andre Cole scoring the equaliser there after Chittadini scored the first, but Bartkowski gets the winner in that one. So well done to Croydon, but also well done. Another one that was a very big shock. Croydon was shocking, but Olympic knocking out the Cup winners the year prior, Adelaide City. That is a massive shock, but a great boost for Olympic as well, going back into the league this weekend.
Yeah, it was obviously a shock, and a bit of a shocking end as well with all the red cards, 3 red cards in the last minute of the game. Not great for Adelaide City coming in on like a bit of a losing streak, sadly. but obviously big for Olympic.
Yeah, well, both teams going in with 3 straight losses heading into this fixture. Adelaide City, though, 4 losses out of 5. The only win they've had was the last cup round in between then. But that is a very weird momentum for Adelaide City because we're not used to seeing them struggling this much. But hopefully it's a turning point for them.
Yeah. Obviously playing for Adelaide City myself, we're around the boys a lot. We know, they know they need to lift it a bit. They are putting in the hard yards at training and everything. It's just getting over the line. So yeah, they really got to work a bit harder and they know that. So hopefully they can turn it around the next few weeks.
And that fight at the end, a bit heated towards the end. Cup games have that, don't they?
Yeah, it was a lot. Like you mentioned, cup games are intense. And in the dying stage of the game, those feelings are heightened. So it happens, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is.
And we mentioned about the Northern Demons game. Well, let's talk a bit about the result. They got the opening goal 6 minutes in. A big result for them, especially after 2 losses the last couple of weeks against 2 strong sides in Cove and Uni in their league games. But prior to that, they've been having a really good run. So for Omar and his side, that's a massive boost for their confidence, and to make the quarterfinals, which they'll be hosting once again, is fantastic for them. And well, let's look at those fixtures now for the quarterfinals. They've been released. They're taking on Olympic. That's going to be a big one.
Yep, going for Demons there. Yeah, hopefully they can knock them out.
That's the buy side and you coming out. Well, Campbelltown City also taking on Cumberland United, the only other side outside of the RA, NPL, SA. A big clash there. Could be a cup set on the hands. We don't know, but I think that would be an exciting one, as well as Modbury Jets, Croydon, familiar foes in that game, as well as Comets and Beograd. Well, that fixture there, we know it's going to be exciting because Beograd have beaten Comets before, so can't wait to see what happens there because Comets won't want to lose again to Beograd the way they did against them at Frank Mitchell Park, but this time they're hosting it. So things may be a little bit different, but it's not to say 4 exciting matches. We love this type of football now as we get into the nitty-gritty of the Cup. Well, we're about to get into something exciting as well. The rivalry this weekend. We've got a great feature coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's the local game. Welcome back to the local game, and a big week. The rivalry is revving up. Things are getting heated as we get ready for that. And things are getting a bit heated on my phone as it's blaring up with many messages in my inbox each week. And it's hard to go through them sometimes, but I've decided to create a brand new segment to make use of my inbox, and it's called Keko's Inbox. Well, this week got a message from Jason, a loyal viewer of the show weekly, and we know that football players have been referenced to getting Academy Awards for their performances on the pitch with the way they roll over after a tackle. That's a common thing from other codes to give us a little bit of a jab, but in this instance, it looks like one of our local players in the Australia Cup on the weekend maybe has watched a little bit too much of Karate Kid growing up. Let's take a look at this. We got this sent in. This is just an ordinary picture from the weekend game, Adelaide City and Olympic. Well, taken by Estelle Rose Photography from Olympic. Well, it's just looks like a normal photo, doesn't it? But if you take a real close look at Pitch Canary's stance there, a little bit of a familiar experience to when we watched the Karate Kid.
Definitely. Yeah. His form is impeccable.
It is, isn't it? So there we go. Looking like he's doing the crane in that instance. So looks like a normal thing, but maybe he's watched a little bit too much and got a little bit influenced in Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi will be very proud.
Very.
Well, as we get ready, that is Keko's Inbox. If you want to get involved in Keko's Inbox each week, or if you notice something like that any week or anything, whatever it is, if sprinklers turning on, lights turning out in Tarniet, whatever it may be, or it must be South Australia, but will you send it through to Keko's Inbox and we'll feature it on one of our shows. Well, let's head into the rivalry. As it gets revved up, we caught up with a couple of players and proud supporters of both clubs to get a real insight of what it means to head in to this big clash.
My name is Steve Nikolic. I came to Australia in 1970, and ever since I joined the club, and I only played for juniors and reserves. But I was president for many years, and cleaner and trainer, and did everything what our club needed. And I'm proud of our club, one of the best in South Australia.
Obviously it's a huge honour to be playing for the first team for FK Beograd, coming through the junior ranks here and then making my debut. I have obviously a huge connection to the club, so does my family, as obviously we're from Serbia. So obviously this fixture is a big thing for me and my family, but also the Serbian community.
The club was formed in December 1949, and through the years we got very rich history. We don't have enough time to talk about all of that, but we produced many good players, best and fairest. Starting in 1968, Rob Jones, Maks Jurkovic, Johnny Keko Ali Atkins, Voli Bojjuk, Brian Welsh, Aidon Santrac, Bradley Ama twice, and so on and so on.
My name's Domagoj Todoric. Most people know me as Dormo around this place. My connection to the club probably started even before I was born. My late uncle, Dragan Spišpek, was one of the original founders, and pretty much for the last 45 years I've pretty much been here my whole life, either as a player, coach, committeeman, and even now as the under-18s assistant coach.
My connection to the club stems from pretty much when I was born. My grandfather was involved in the foundations of the club when he came to Adelaide, with help from a lot of other older guys at the club to build what is today the Croatian Sports Centre and Adelaide Croatia Raiders. Ever since I was born, I was pretty much turned into a life member by my grandfather, and also my parents are life members at this club.
Beograd, I think, is a year or two older than us. So I think a lot of Croatians, as they were coming here, they sort of thought, well, we need our own club as well. So they basically went about forming the club. Started back in 1951. They were officially registered and playing in 1952. So the official start date of the club was 10th of April. And they pretty much played their first game out at, there used to be a Phillips factory off Taplis Hill Road. I think it was in Hendon.
Well, ever since we played Croatia, the rivalry is very big. I mean, I know it's only 3 points, but for us and for them as well, it's a lot more than that, and everybody wants to win.
It means everything. Look, personally, I don't give a shit if we lose every game of the year as long as we beat Beograd twice. So, but nah, seriously, look, it's like every other rivalry. It's good to have it back. I'm sure they feel the same way. Both well-supported clubs, both should be in the top league.
There was many games we won and some we lost. The most memorable one, 1993, we beat them 6-0, which was like the biggest game for a long time. And there was, as I said, a lot of many games that we won. Some of them we lost, but that's how it goes in football. And both clubs had some really good players in past history.
Look, probably my first memory as a youngster would have been out at their ground, out at Frank Mitchell Park with a big crowd on the hill. They used to have the hill on the outer side there. I think Tony Jordan scored a hat-trick that day and we won 3-2, and I was a young fella sort of thing, and you know, there used to be, the crowds were massive back then. I actually even went to high school with an English lad he loved sort of football hooliganism back in England back in the day in the late 80s and 90s, and he actually caught a train out to Frank Mitchell Park just to watch the fights, not the actual soccer sort of thing. So hopefully there's no trouble this weekend. Hopefully all supporters are well behaved and we leave it all out on the football park. So, but it's the one you don't want to lose, mate. You don't want to lose. There's history there, there's wars there, and yeah, you don't want to walk off the park losing.
To be wearing these colours is a huge privilege for me in itself, but obviously in a derby this big, it's also an added incentive to get over the line. I know how much it means to our supporters, the club and the boys in the team. So yeah, just can't wait to get out there on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm very proud to represent Croatia. It's, for me, representing Croatia is mostly about representing family. It's where my family's come from, it's where I've grown up and been around my whole life, so it's representing the people here and the people that I've grown up around more than anything. That's what means the most to me when I go out on that pitch playing for Raiders, as opposed to any other previous club I've been at.
It's a long time since we played Croatia last time, and to be honest, I can't wait, even if I'm not playing, but I'll be there. Most of the players, they don't have the same feeling from years back when players played at the club for 4, 5, 6 years. It was a little bit different, but still we will try to do our best and players will enjoy it, I'm sure.
Look, having this game back in the top flight, I think if you look at SA football, probably the biggest rivalry in terms of the two old NSL clubs, Adelaide City and West Adelaide. West Adelaide are no longer in even the top flight here, so I think right now we're the premium fixture of this NPL at the moment.
I think it's honestly great for South Australian football to have these rivalries back in action. I feel like the ethnic side of things has disappeared over the last few years, so it's good to have this back, and yeah, I just can't wait.
I'm looking forward to a fiery contest between two teams that are close to each other on the table, and yeah, looking to bring an entertaining game for the supporters. I hope they bring the heat, and I know in training a lot of the boys we're ready for Saturday, so it's going to be a fiery contest.
It's only 3 points at the end of the day, but there's always that little bit of extra spice to it.
Well, I would like it to be a good game, and the best team on the day will win.
Well, if that doesn't get you revved up, what will? Because this is exciting, and just how much it means to both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive.
It is massive. If you're heading down, well, you can experience a great game. And let's just hear what we can expect this Saturday, as I went and caught up with Maks Jurkovic from Adelaide Croatia Raiders to get a real insight of what we can expect when we head down there on Saturday. I'm down here at the Croatian Sports Centre ahead of the big game this weekend, FK Beograd, Adelaide Croatia Raiders. I cannot wait. But one man who can't wait as well is alongside me, Maks Jurkovic. Make a big game this week, and a huge connection. For those that don't know, your father was a huge name at this club and means a lot to many people still at the club today.
Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, we've been waiting for this game since we got promoted. Like, we had our supporters throughout the middle of last year talking about, if we get promoted, let's play Belgrade. I can't wait till we play Belgrade. Hopefully it's first game of the season, which I think that it should have been, and I think I can speak on Belgrade's behalf that it definitely should have been round 1 at the Croatian Sports Centre. In terms of my connection to the club, mine started from my grandfather Baldo. He moved to Adelaide in 1962. He fled communist Yugoslavia, and he's still alive to this day, and he does not miss a home game. 50, 60 years in, he loves it, and he instilled that love for Croatia, love for the soccer club, love for the community to his 4 kids, and that's been instilled into me from my late father. Now, a bit about my late father's background was he played his whole juniors at Adelaide Croatia, was one of the few in his generation to break the ranks and play first team in the late 80s in an era where Croatia was competing with NSL sides. He ended up becoming the club's youngest captain at age 22, and by the end of his career, he won 2 league titles, 5 Federation Cups, and 2 Ampol Cups. After that, he started coaching our juniors and reserve team, and he eventually got the opportunity in the late 2000s to become club president, where he was up until 2011. So for me, my earliest memories of being at the club were when he was playing. Or when he was in his last season of his career injured, he used to take me to these games. Yeah. The older supporters tell me that he used to change my nappies at half-time. So this club is my home. One of the things that I learned from my dad was it's very important to give back to the community. So for me, the first thing I knew was obviously I wasn't a good enough soccer player to play for Adelaide Croatia, but one of the things I could do is be a leader in the community, promote it amongst our youth, and get our people connected to the soccer club again, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. Our games against Belgrade, I remember my dad saying when he used to play against them during the war years, he used to not be able to sleep for 4 or 5 days if they lost. Yeah. That was what was on the line. Like, you would represent your community, the people that were here before that aren't here today. You played and you represented them with your heart on your sleeve. So you left no prisoners. You gave 110%, and what happened on the field stayed on the field.
Well, obviously things are different to those days, but the rivalry is still there. And it's been a long time since it's been in the top flight, especially. But it's a big game. What do you think it means to the players out there now? Because there's a few Croatians out there, and also there's a few Serbians in their side as well. But what do you think it's going to mean to them this week, and especially how long it's been since that both clubs have been in the top flight together?
I think the beauty of these two clubs, the two most supported clubs in the state, that everyone knows of Croatia's rivalry with Belgrade. You don't have to be an ex-player. It's one of the games that everyone wants to see. And the fact that we haven't played them in, I reckon, about 4 or 5 years, has everyone hungry for a fixture like this. The players can obviously sense how... Well, the players at Adelaide, I can speak for Adelaide Croatia, but the players for Adelaide Croatia know how proud we are as a community, and how we put our heart on our sleeves for the club, and how we work hard behind the scenes so that the players can have what they have in front of them. So I'm sure the players are motivated, and they don't, to be honest with you, they don't even need any motivation from us supporters. They're self-motivated, and they've got the right coach in Vlado to lead them through.
Well, I know there's a few people a lot of people from other clubs are going to be coming down for this game. They're excited for the atmosphere for this Saturday. But for those that may be their first time coming to this, for me, it's my first ever Belgrade and Croatia Raiders game, and I'm looking forward to it. But there's a lot of other people I know that are coming down for their first one ever. What can we expect on match day on Saturday when we come down here?
You're going to get the Croatian beers, the ciabatta rolls, the potato salad. You're going to get the best food in the NPL. In terms of the spectacle, it's going to be an attacking game of soccer. Both teams play soccer the right way. Vlado wants to play attacking football, and we're not going to leave any stone unturned. In terms of neutral supporters coming out, it's funny you asked that question. I've actually got people in my work that don't even follow soccer wanting to come down for the Croatia-Belgrade game. So this is the type of crowd we're going to get as well, and we want to make sure that we put on a show for them.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. The stand is named after your dad. How excited are you to see that, and proud of you to have that stand full on Saturday, and it's especially named after your father as well?
Yeah, that's something that it was announced in 2012 that the grandstand would be named after my late father, and it's something I'm very proud of. It's something that I look at every Friday or every Saturday I'm here, that I know that he's there in spirit watching us play, and then the spirit of Adelaide Croatia is always with the team. Yeah. And we showed it last year. See, Coach Vlado, his best friend was my dad, and I know for fact that he was looking over him. And with some of those games of soccer we played last year, there was no other way. He wasn't there, but supporting him behind the scenes.
Well, you mentioned Vlado. There's no passionate Croatian more than what Vlado is, and I know he'll be very excited for this Saturday. Have you spoken to him ahead of this big game?
I know what Vlado's like, so I try and refrain from that, because I know he's very much wants to be focused on his coaching, but I know deep down he's a supporter at heart, so he would be having a few sleepless nights before the game.
Well, I can't wait. Any last things you want to say ahead of this Saturday? It's a big game, and I cannot wait for it.
It's going to be a fantastic game of soccer, so you're going to see a big crowd from both sides. So I welcome everyone from the Croatian community to come down to the Croatian Sports Centre and make sure you cheer the boys in victory.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Maks. Look good. All the best on Saturday, and look forward to seeing you down there. I might come and get a couple. Actually, no, I not might. I will come and get a couple of chababs during Saturday's game.
Thanks for having me, Johnny.
Well, he is full of excitement, and so are we, because there's going to be a great turnout there on Saturday. We look forward to checking out that match on the weekend. Well, we're going to preview this weekend's matches very soon. Don't go anywhere. It's the local game. Welcome back to the local game as we get ready for this weekend's action. We're going to look at those fixtures very soon. But before we do, a quick taste of the Go Sunny Solar WNPL action on the weekend that just passed as Salisbury Inter got their very first 3 points. Bit of a relief after losing the first three.
Yeah, they got to be happy with that first 3 points of the league. It's good for them.
Definitely is, but not good for the LA Comets, who have played well this year, but unfortunately, round one has been turned on its head. A 4-0 win over Sturt Lions has now turned to a 3-0 win in the favour of Sturt Lions due to a little bit of a discrepancy with the team sheet.
Yeah, disappointing for the players. Unfortunately, this stuff can happen. But yeah, like you said, Sturt will probably be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they would be. Probably not the way they would want to get their very first win in the Go Sun Solid WNPL, but a handy 3 points, especially when they're trying to stay up in that league as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Have you spoken to any of the players on what it would feel like for them?
Yeah, I work with a few Comets players, so they are very disappointed with getting those points taken. But then on the other hand, me being Adelaide City, we're pretty happy because it makes us a bit higher on that ladder.
Well, it's very tight at the top. Only 3 points separating fourth and first as it stands. But heading into this week, they got to turn things around quickly because they're taking on West Adelaide, the Adelaide Comets, as we look to this weekend's fixtures. That's a big win for them. Whoever wins will take top spot unless Adelaide City beat Metro. That's you guys on the weekend.
Yeah, it's actually a massive weekend. Like you said, Friday night, Comets West. Winner can go top, and then depending on our result the following night against Metro, it's going to be a big weekend of women's football.
Definitely will be. And let's take a look at the other top league of the weekend as well, is the RAA NPL SA as they get ready for the round 7 clashes. This weekend, 3 games on the Friday night, 2 Saturdays and a Sunday fixture as well. Very good to have football all weekend. Keeps me busy, that's for sure. And some big rivalries happening this weekend. One rivalry which I'm trying to start. Don't know if there is much rivalry there, but I just love the name of the M2 Derby or the Days Road Derby. Whichever way you look at it is the Croatian and Olympic game. That's a big one because both of them are going into this game with 2 massive wins on the weekend from the Cup. Now, very important win for both of these sides. But Croydon haven't beaten Olympic in a very long time. So they would want to try and get over Olympic there this weekend at home. A big fixture there. Looking forward to covering that. But Saturdays, we can't go past without talking about Adelaide Croatia Raiders, FK Beograd. This is an exciting match. We know rivalries, no matter how a team's performing into the lead up to a game, a rivalry like this just takes it next level.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, I'm really excited.
It's going to be good because, FK Beograd come off a big win against Fulham this weekend, but Raiders have the weekend off. Do you reckon that's going to just add to it?
Yeah, you never know having a weekend off and going into a game if you're going to be better or not. So it really could go either way.
It's a big game down there. If you're heading down, go check it out and get there early because it's going to be a massive, massive day. A big crowd expected as we see Croatians and Serbians uniting to support their respective sides. And it's a real show of support and passion. And that's something that football can be proud of.
Yeah, definitely.
We got something like that, and we've got it back in the top flight. We know how important it is for both of these sides. So head down there, enjoy the football this weekend. And before we wrap things up, let's go to Press for Time with Antonis Pagonis from Front Page Football.
Johnny, I've been away this week covering Adelaide United in Melbourne, the new facility in Tarneit. But I thought I'd join you to tell you about Cassini Yankee, who scored in helping Portsmouth get promoted to the Championship for the first time in 12 years. And, oops. Well, Johnny, I think I shouldn't have filmed this in Tarneit. Catch you next week.
Oh, poor Anton is getting stuck in the dark. That's what you get, mate, for going up there in Tarneit. Take one of these next time. A torch. That will help you out when you go on an away trip to Melbourne. Well, oh, geez. And thanks, Anton. It's from Front Page Football. Thank you, Ali, for joining me once again. Absolute pleasure. Good luck this weekend in your game and all the best. Hopefully we can see you out at a few games this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully to make it out some.
Yes, we'll see you there. See you all down there. See you Saturday if you're there. Come say hi. And don't forget, Keko's inbox could be returning next week. It's up to you. We'll see you next week. It's the local game.